Apologies, everyone. I think that terrible cacophonous situation I was suffering from moments ago has been resolved. Happy 4th of July, everyone. If that's the sort of thing you're into. Truthfully, not really the sort of thing I'm into, but why pass up an opportunity? The parade, the 4th of July parade, runs right by my house. Enjoyed a little Irish coffee watching the parade go by, and now I'll celebrate in that most quintessentially American of ways with a video game stream. So everyone, it's a big day here on the video machine, as I will be playing my very first unreleased game. Unreleased game. And you can see what it is right there. Underneath my picture, it's Socks the Cat. Rocks the Hill. Who is Socks the Cat? Socks the Cat was Bill Clinton's cat. Children of the 90s may remember Socks was a fixture in the popular children's culture of the time. I grew up in something of a liberal enclave, so I don't know. I don't know if Socks was as big in parts of the country where, Bill Clinton was not in favor. The red states. The Tale of Two Americas. Maybe some people out there hated Socks. What little I know of the making of this game, I believe Kaneko, the video game company Kaneko, wanted to release this. They failed. This game was never released until a prototype was recovered, some emulation heads, some ROM dumpers. Some people restored it. When I fire it up, you'll see the little intro credit screen crediting all the people who worked on this to bring it even to this state of playability. I shouldn't say that in a flippant way. It is fully playable. But Socks the Cat, the name Socks the Cat, like, it wasn't Bill Clinton's or the Clinton administration's. Apparently the trademark for Socks the Cat belonged to the Socks the Cat, fan club. So Kaneko had to license this game directly with the fan club for Socks the Cat. I believe Socks was a stray cat that Bill or Hillary or Chelsea found. I believe he was found and then taken along to live at the White House. A real rags to riches story for old Socks the Cat. So let's just fire this sucker up and see what a wealth of excitement Socks has to offer us on this, what do you call it? This is the big 250-year anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Does that make... Is it a quadrennial? It's not a bicentennial. A no, that would be 4. Is there a word for it? Everyone I've seen has just been awkwardly saying, like, oh, it's the 250 years. I don't know if there's a good word for that, but... It's Kaneko. There's Socks. Socks the Cat. Trademarks of Socks the Cat fan club. They said it did not exist. They said it was not complete. It is here, brought to you by El Jefe, Tom Curtin, Adam Welsh, Tom Schmidt, Jason Miodaszewski, I will say. Now, a little warning ahead of time, this usually isn't a very political stream. But there will be some pretty biting political satire in this one, depending on how deep into the game I get. Whoa, that is really not an enjoyable sound effect for the long haul. Oh, look. Looks like one of those crooks down in Washington, after Socks. I'm not playing right now, this is the demo. This is a good way for me to scout what this gameplay is going to be like. Okay. What was he swinging on? Alright. This all looks like a pretty standard, not super good action platformer, so I should know what I'm doing. What options do I have to look at here? Oh, hey! Socks is getting down. I will not do myself the indignity of switching it to easy mode for my first Socks the Cat playthrough. Couple of skulkers on the White House grounds. Portable nuclear missile launch unit stolen. Socks also missing. I wonder if there would be suspicion that was related if that happened in real life. If the cat disappeared at the same time as the nuclear portable missile launch system did. Foreign Fur Follies. Alright, here we go. Locking in. Ugh. So they're going with the 9 lives thing. Having a little angel, like, leave my body every time I take a hit is a little distracting. I can switch which side of the screen my info display is on. I only had 3 balls of yarn. Those are gone now. Ugh. Still better hit detection than Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage, I'll say that. Ooh, I can sprint. Got some milk. Things are looking up for old Soxy. Eh. Oh, right. Can I jump? Yeah. So this rope here that really just looks like a crummy background, I can actually vault off of. Up, up. Come on. Ugh. Ugh. I've got to chain 2 jumps here. I guess maybe if I just sprint, I can... This is killing me. There, okay. He sort of catches a little glide after he jumps off that. And glide along like Mario 2 Princess here. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't be hitting forward. Is that what's screwing me up? Yeah. Okay. So if I'm hitting forward while I do this, it seems like he's less likely to catch on. It's not my favorite mechanic early on. Also one I would be utterly clueless to do if I hadn't watched that demo. Maybe I don't even need this. Maybe I can just... Nope. Foolish of me to think that. Okay. This stinks. I can't chain enough of these together to do this. Oh, come on. There. Man, that's miserable. Oh, great. Hey. Yeah, run away. Whoops. Hey, more ropes. Oh. A lot more of this is revolving around these ropes right now than I thought. Oh my god. Okay. I shouldn't be up here. I should start down here. There we go. Ah! I do think this game has something to say about America. Oh, you son of... Get lost, yeah. These rats are making this game feels like it has a bit of a Capital Critters vibe. Capital Critters, for those curious. Check out the Capital Critters episode of Now We Know. Hopeful counter-programming against The Simpsons that had a bunch of rats and stuff living in the White House. The fact that they were in the White House didn't really seem to factor into the first episode very much. The first episode was mostly about how they were almost all murdered in an exterminator's gassing in a farmhouse somewhere. I would call the pilot of that show tonally off-putting. There we go, a little chain reaction action. I said, it is true, the hit detection is much better than Bugs Bunny's Rabbit Rampage. That said, I'm finding myself similarly frustrated around some of this. Not all, but some. Okay. Leap of faith time. Hey, made it. Oh. Get out of here. Oh my god! Socks only has 2 lives left. Alright, level 1 in the books. Shit. I think that's Ross Perot. Yeah, that's Perot if I've ever seen him. Oh my god. You put me in the spin cycle. Okay, good. At least I checkpointed the boss. It's a little much for me to be attacking Ross here. He's the only reason there is a Socks the Cat that anyone knows about. Clinton wouldn't have won that election if not for Ross. This is a no strategy slobber knocker Socks has on his hands here. Alright. H. Ross Perot dead. Slain by Socks the Cat. On we go. Does that mean that Perot stole the nuclear device? Or that he's working with these goons? I don't yet know if the alleged political satire in this game has any, like, I don't know, ideological cohesion. Oh. This is another thing this game has a little bit in common with Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage. I really didn't think that I was gonna die if I went in there. One of these, exploration discouraging pitfalls. Alright. Oh, shit. I forgot I was almost out of cats. 1 credit left. I'm only 1 level in. I am gonna have to turn the difficulty down at this rate. I like how he walks. He sort of walks with his hands out in a jabbing motion. What I do not... Oh my god, get back here. What I do not like is this thing that keeps happening where if I hit them just so, instead of getting knocked back, they like flip and get knocked back towards me. It's like their iframes carry them right into me. Oh my god. Alright. That was the checkpoint, huh? Oh, this is just what I need. Okay. Huh. Oh, no. Just get lost. Oh, it's slowing down. Hey, a rat. I'm not going to be able to beat another boss even if I get that far, judging by how tough Perot was. Ugh. Oh. Oh, no. No! Oh my god! Meow. Meow indeed. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't want to turn the difficulty down, but I also don't want that to be what playing the game is like. It's not that I can't, well, the whole rope swinging thing is so odious. I think the trick with it is I need to not be hitting forward at all. Otherwise it, like, aborts the animation of him weirdly gliding forward. And without that, I'm all out of luck. I'll have to practice it a little more here in this little zone this time, until I've really got it locked in. Yeah, okay. So just tapping A is the way you do this. All right. wonder if the cheese will work on Perot. Do we know anything about his dietary habits? See, he doesn't get as much forward momentum off this one as he was the others. Okay. Eat that cheese, no? Mice only, huh? I wonder what Socks the cat would think of our current political situation. Okay, whoops. You bastard. Alright. Can I get Perot in one? Let's see. What's the trick to this? So he's gonna... Okay, every time I hit him, he's gonna do that little... The barrel is too much. On top of everything else. I also can't really get the clearance over the top of him to just avoid him outright. This stinks. This barrel thing is just a completely arbitrary thing they've thrown in here. What, is Donkey Kong up there? There. Just gotta not be afraid to get my hands dirty. With these Washington fat cats, I guess Perot was not considered a Washington fat cat. He was a Texas fat cat. Okay. Ooh boy. Ooh boy. So I don't get any extra height off the sprint jump? No. Come on. This is gonna be the death of me. Alright. Are those barrels coming from like one guy who I'm gonna meet at the end, like Donkey Kong? Or is this just never gonna be answered? Ball of yarn. Ugh. Oh, that's him. Okay. Looks like someone skipped infrastructure week. Back up to 9 lives. Boss coming up. Almost at a boss. Ah! Ah! They have bombs now? Alright, who's next? It's Nixon! Oh my god. Nixon sounds a lot like Perot when you hit him. I guess all these guys kind of are the same. Very close. Alright. Alright, brute forcing my way through Richard Milhouse Nixon. Alright. Why? It's a yellow-bellied paparazzo. Looks like the Lion Cheatin' Press is here. Oh god, it's a reflexively negative protester. Whatever. This is very Capital Critters coded here. Alright. No to no. This is a little different from the last stage. I'm not really taking on the malefactors in this nuclear thing anymore. I'm just beating up random protesters. I guess what else are you gonna have a White House cat for, though, right? He's not even going after the cheese. If there's cheese on the board, he should have to run for it, like Montgomery Jack. Ugh. Get out of here. It's gonna blow up. There. Rat, please. Fish is delish. And I've killed a lot of people here. Oh. That was Washington. Was that Lincoln? Thank you. Was that Hillary? I think that was Nixon. That's Reagan. Socks. Don't stop to count the debt. Whoops. Oh no. I set off the goddamn alarm. I don't think having alarms like that, where the trick is that I can't see a above me is entirely fair. Keep these fish coming, please. This must be the goo they use to make the money green. Is that what it is? Is that supposed to be like, this is why money's green, or is this just foul chemical goo used in the printing process? One credit left, huh? Yep. It's a nice touch to have socks get all green for a little bit. Can't get up there, huh? Even if I get to a boss, given the current precedents that have been set, I'm just going to be bleeding damage. I don't think I can take one out at 6 hit points. Okay, here we go. Well, that's great. No! Music's okay. I will say okay for the soundtrack on Socks the Cat Rocks the House. So far. Well, he sure got over that cheese quick. Yeah, go for it. Oh, come on. That's too far away. Ridiculous. Alright. No boss this time, going straight on to the next act of Don't Stop to Count the Debt. Oh my god. Well, I have stopped to count the deficit. So this game's politics are, I mean, I guess Bill Clinton was a deficit hawk. I'm probably gonna have to fight Gingrich in here somewhere, right? Is this so much worse than, say, Sonic the Hedgehog? Ah! I got domed by a fat wad of bills. This game's, the one trick it always has up its sleeve is, okay, now you have to jump across a pit. You can't see what's on the other side, and once you are in midair, there will be a guy walking towards you. Socks. Ugh. Is that supposed to be Secret Service? What is this guy's deal? Ugh. Just gonna be a blind jump, huh? Alright. Oh! Ha! Not so fast, buddy. Tree? What is that? Oh, a scratching post. Can I go further? I feel like I'm just going backwards now. I don't... Yeah, what the hell? I did all that for nothing? I mean, this game is not like such a great time that I feel like the levels should have a lot of stuff like that. And I think they should know that. My friends at Kaneko should know that this isn't the kind of game I'm playing for depth of exploration. Wait, can I push this? No. Oh, I just have to go over here. Alright. Great. It's some sort of militaristic dog. Oh. The enemies are not doing much for me, sonically speaking. Okay. Really feels like I should be able to push that. No? What's this do? Am I gonna restore health, or is this just a little bit of fun? Just a little bit of fun, it seems like. Okay. Nothing else down here. Over here? No? I swear. Oh, I can butt stomp on people. Okay. That's good. There we go. Alright, good one, Socks. Oh, it's the Democrat donkey. Ugh. Of course he's in the mint running up that deficit. Oh, God. That was a lot of work to get there. Alright, I am going to turn the difficulty down because I don't think I necessarily have too much more time in me on this. And I'd like to see how deep I can get, so... Easiest setting. Yeah, you know, I will concede, part of the issue for me with this one is that the whole thing feels so trivial that maybe I'm not taking it seriously enough. I mean, 9 hits is a lot, and they are giving me a lot of fish to get my 9 lives refilled, but I think I am probably leaving a lot on the table as far as clean runs by being a little bit slapdash about things. That said, this is a bit tougher than I would expect, and not for reasons of merit. Oh, God, Oh, Socks. Socks. You gotta help me here. You gotta help me out, Socks. Oh, Socks. Oh, Socks. Let's get it going, Socks. Alright. Oh, a little more. Just a little more of this. Okay. Stop backing off and making me chase you. That's not the kind of game this is. God damn. Okay, fine. I don't care. I'll go down here. Let's go. Woo. Fucking sliding into me. Alright. Let's go. Okay. Alright, Ross, you're up first. Let's go. Okay, that cost me four lives, I guess I'm calling them? Yeah, because when I actually die, it seems like I'm burning a continue. When he bangs his head, I can't go any further, so... Let's see if I can... Based on how this is going, I think the easy mode I turned on, I think this is probably one of these games where what that just means is more continues. That was a more common thing in these days. Cheaper platformers, you know, there's only so much in the way of difficulty scaling you're gonna get, so easy mode just means, oh, 5 continues instead of 2. Which is ultimately what I want. I just want to get deeper into this thing. Ugh. Out of my way, you disgusting rat! I'd give anything for a sound effects off option here. Okay. Nixon's up next. He's calling in these airstrikes. He throws up that hand. Got him. Okay. So how many? I'm still 2 levels away from where I was. I gotta get through the rotunda here, or not the rotunda. What do you call this? I don't know. I gotta get through here. I gotta take care of these ostensibly whiny liberal protesters. I feel like they're, well, no, I guess these are probably Republicans, right? Because it's Bill's in the office. But that guy's clearly supposed to be a hippie. So far, the most robust enemy we've encountered in this game is this guy with the whatever sign, and he just got me killed. None of these enemies are following... 1 credit left! Okay, so in what way is this easier? Oh boy. Socks the cat. Maybe there really isn't a difference, but I don't know. Who knows? Who the hell even cares? I am, in truth, getting a little less tolerant of the sounds Socks is making as this goes along. Out of my way, you bastard. Ugh. Oh my god. Just run past these things. Not this one, I can't. That's gotta be Nixon. wonder if I'm gonna fight Reagan. Am I gonna get any... Well, I got Nixon, yeah. Alright, don't stop to count the debt. Let's see how efficiently I can get through here. Now that I know the way. Oh, God. Stop making these sounds. Oh. Oh, it shouldn't go through right when the laser... Oh. I'm so mad and my performance is deteriorating. Okay. Okay. Uh. Nothing over here? Great. That must be a continue. I need it. Up. Well, not only did I not get it, I'm dead. Well, that socks the cat. Socks the cat. Rocks the hill. You know, the Super Nintendo, for my money, uh, simply one of the greatest consoles ever made. I think the sheer quality of... I think the average game is much better than the average game is today. And certainly, well, I don't know. It's a much more, it's not the right word, democratized landscape in gaming now, but there's so many more ways for independent game makers to get eyeballs on their stuff. So, you know, now in a sort of a multi-platform world on Steam and stuff like this, it's better, certainly, than the closed ecosystems we had back then, but I guess I will say certainly relative to its era. The Super Nintendo was the first system I had between that, Nintendo, the original NES, the Genesis, going to arcades, playing games on my home computer, which was dismal because my home computer was an all in one monorail computer that was not really able to run anything of note. Shout out the games that did get me through, though, like Jinxter, the text based adventure game Jinxter. Um, I could go to the warehouse and rent an SNES game knowing nothing about it, and there was a better than average chance I was going to have a good time with it. And these kind of vapid, kind of brainless platformers, they're a young man's game. At the time, I might not have had any kind of issue with playing a game like this again and again, and again and again and again. But it's certainly not my kind of thing now. And I mean, I played a lot of those on Super Nintendo back in the day. Games that at the time, for one reason or another, I had some affection for, and then I come back to them a ways, many years later, and I realize, oh no, this was just, the Roadrunner Death Valley Rally game, for example, the Sunsoft Roadrunner game. That got a lot of promo and Nintendo Power as I remember. And I rented it and played it, and I liked it. I had it in my head as this is a good, fun game. Came back to it, it's like, well, this is sort of the same problem as the Sonic the Hedgehog games, where the whole point is to go fast, but there's these arbitrary, excuse me, these arbitrary obstacles thrown in here, but it's even worse in that game because the Roadrunner is so much bigger. He takes up so much more of the screen. You have even less time to maneuver. And there's so much vertical platforming in it, which makes no sense. Uh, this, even within the pantheon of those action platform SNES games, is pretty bad. It's got a lot of the staples of a bad platformer. Uh, Needlessly punishing hitboxes. Um, a lot of jumping sections where the game is relying on an enemy you cannot yet see to present himself when you are in midair and can no longer really capably adjust. And then he just knocks you back and you fall all the way back down. And frankly, look, this game never came out properly. It's unreleased. And I have all the respect in the world for the people who got this thing up to the point where they could put it out in the form they did. You know, I'm someone who cares about media preservation and the history of these mediums, and so I'm very glad this is out there. Um, if it was the intention to have even the easy setting have like two continues, one? I think I only got one. I would die, and then it would be like you have one credit left. If that was the intention, this game is hard enough on its own without resorting to that kind of cheap, like, trickery of using, knockback to send me, plummeting into pits and the like. That is the kind of stuff that maybe in a well made game that feels like you're in on the joke of it being a little punishing to the player, I have all the time in the world for that. If you get me on your side, I'm perfectly happy to be a little worm who is there to be punished. Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill did not do what it needed to get me on side like that, however. And I could do better with it certainly, but I don't know. It's pretty unplayable. And pretty charmless in a lot. I mean, the fact that you get to like fight Nixon and Ross Perot, I know for a fact one of the future bosses, I think maybe the one of, well, no, because the Democrat donkey is the boss of the U.S. Mint level. At some point, you face off against Oliver North, uh, of the Iran Contra affair, and his like extra like bonus damage help in that fight is I think he's got like a paper shredder that he's pushing around and he's shredding all the documents that prove he's crooked. And that's all well and fun. Like I like all that. It's fun to be briefly teleported back into the petty, well, not petty. Those were real scandals. They just existed in a media and attention ecosystem that is very different from where we are now. Um, in any event, a bad game that the people at Kaneko put together here. We'll never know what it would have looked like if it had been brought to full, fruition by them. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't really addressed it. I've played ROM hacks on stream. I have not put them on the big board because I believe that would be inappropriate. That said, however, I am going to rank this one because I've decided to. So let's see. Where's the dividing line here? What's the best game it could conceivably be better than? I mean, some of these games up top, but these are good games. I've played some good games here, folks. I'm very happy that Zelda 2 has stuck up there as long as it has. I'm sure someday I'll play a better game, but as it stands, I'm very happy that has had as much time in the sun as it has. Stardew Valley, much better. NES Tournament Open Golf. By the way, I miswrote this. It's NES Open Tournament Golf, which I kept saying and then corrected myself. I have no idea what madness convinced me that it was anything but. But, there we go. Max Payne. I would go so far as to say a better game than Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill. Super Mario Bros. 2, better in all phases of play. The Twisted Tales of Spike McFang. Whatever gripes one might have with that game. Spike is cuter than Socks, and that's a problem. You would at least want Socks to be cuter by a country mile than many of these other protagonists. And Socks is also operating at an immense deficit in terms of sound design. The soundscape of that game was grotesque. Real bad. So certainly it cannot hold a candle to my friend Spike McFang, parenthesis, the Twisted Tales of. Mega Man 5 is much better than Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill. I keep almost saying Rocks the House. And it should be Rocks the House, because the House of it's fine. It still works. Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill. The King of Dragons. The first game I ever did here on the video machine. A very fun arcade port, a beat 'em up. Love playing as the elf. Much better than Socks. EVO, The Theory of Evolution, for ingenuity and curiosity alone, and the writing in that game, you could, a billion monkeys could sit at a billion typewriters for a billion years and somehow be given the prompt, you have to write a Socks the Cat game. even if you gave them that leg up of like confining their output to Socks the Cat, you wouldn't get anything better than EVO, The Theory of Evolution, on the PC 98. ActRaiser 2 is just I mean, it's an action platformer, is much better and much more artfully made. Sound, lush, graphics, breathtaking. Still very challenging, but a more fair challenge than Socks the Cat. Manhunt for the PS2. This is we're getting it's not better than Manhunt. I mean, Manhunt at least sort of knows what it's in it for. I feel like Socks the Cat should have had a slightly stronger political ideology. It feels like it's going for a bit of the a pox on both their houses attitude here. If the game were like unabashedly pro-Clinton administration propaganda, I might respect it a little bit more because it would feel more pointed and a little bit more punchy. And Manhunt has the thing where you tie the plastic bag around the guy's head. Socks doesn't do anything like that. So we're in the bottom three. It's going to be somewhere in here. I kept comparing it to Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage as I was playing. And the main point of comparison I was bringing up was a favorable comparison, was that the hitboxes, despite being bad, were better. They were better hitboxes. But then you look at the totality of it. You know, you look at the number of what's the that's what Humphrey Bogart says towards the end of the Maltese Falcon. The woman's like, "But you love me, shouldn't that matter more than all your doubts?" And he's like, "Yeah, but look at the number of the doubts and look at what they add up to." I can't remember the line. It's a great movie and a wonderfully delivered line. But look at their number. Look at the number of ways Socks comes in behind Bugs. The thing is, with Rabbit Rampage, the poor hitboxes are, without a doubt, that they completely destroy any chance for that to be a good game. And it's just a matter of, like, I don't know, tweaking it so it's a few more pixels out from Bugs's body. That's all it would take to quite possibly get it 2 or 3 more slots up this list right now. The sound in that is pretty good. The level design is nothing to write home about, but the levels look okay, and it's getting, like the sprites, it's getting a Looney Tunes kind of thing. Socks the Cat, I mean, there isn't anything that is a Socks the Cat kind of thing, so it operates at a weakness there. But yeah, no, it's not gonna top Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage. Young Merlin. When I played Young Merlin, was practically screaming at the screen for an hour because of this incredibly, like, soul-sucking sequence in these mines, in these mine shafts. And it was one of these classic things where there's a game mechanic that was in no way adequately explained. Maybe it was in the manual if you bought it at that time, but this happened to me when I was a kid too, so I'm guessing not. You had to puff yourself up into a balloon and then like float up and through a little passageway. I would say not adequately laid out for the player. But Young Merlin is weird. It's a it's a bigger swing in what it's trying to do and how it's trying to appeal to a player than anything Socks is bringing to the table. This, Socks is now suffering under the weight of the fact that it might be the kind of game that I like the least. It's like replacement level 2D platformer on the SNES is the ceiling. Those are the stars it's shooting for, and I'm sad to say it's it is not replacement level. Its VORP is very low. Haunting starring Poltergeist. It's not. Young Merlin is holding. It's holding at 15. The only question now is Haunting starring Poltergeist and Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill. Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill is an incompetent. Well, it's a bad execution. It's a bad execution of a 2D platformer. Gruelingly difficult in an unfair way. Terrible sound. Terrible sound. Ears bleeding as I did this stream. Haunting starring Poltergeist has an A+ premise and it runs it into the ground. It's like, it's the Hindenburg of video game premises. Oh, you're a ghost. You are a poltergeist. You sneak into household items and then use them to terrorize the family inside. But its reach is so far beyond its grasp that somehow you start with that premise and you get to this just is so boring. It was so boring, so fast. Once you've seen all the animations for what happens when you haunt the different stuff, and then you just have to keep doing it, and then you keep running out of Ecto, you have to go back to the Ecto dungeon to fight the Ecto beasts and get more Ecto. But when I sat down to play it, I did think, maybe this will be fun. I thought it was going to be better than it was, and it is because the premise is good, but also that first 20 minutes when I was getting back into it. Picking that game up for 20 minutes before I knew all the spooks and all the scare animations. That 20 minutes well exceeded anything Socks the Cat could provide. But it's undeniable that Socks the Cat cruises at a higher level than Haunting starring Poltergeist. If these were cars that I had to drive through California's Central Valley down to Los Angeles, I'd be much better off in Socks the Cat. Socks the Cat, no AC, noisy cabin. So noisy, I'm not even going to be able to hear my podcasts in the quality I wish. But I think it might get me to LA. Haunting starring Poltergeist. You are breaking down in Kettleman City. And as Faxed Head, the Faxed Head lyric, you've got spending to do. Your car will never make it. You've got spending to do. Haunting starring Poltergeist, much better sound design, though. It does sound good. It's impossible to compare the graphics between the two games. The art style's 1-to-1 because it's so different. I came closer to beating Haunting starring Poltergeist, too. Although I was very angry at the end of all that. I don't know how many Socks the Cat levels there are. Even if I had gotten to Ollie North, I couldn't have put him down. Alright. With the stipulation that this game was never properly released and is therefore the first subject of potential controversy on the big board. Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill now assumes its place as the 17th game on the all-time MCVM rankings. It is the worst game ever made by my lights. Also the 17th best game ever made. And I hear rumor that there are games besides these 17. I'm not allowed to consider them or conceptualize them at this time, but that's what I've heard. I'm excited to play more. But for the time being, Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link continues its unprecedented reign atop this list. No game has stuck for this long a time here on Mr. Christopher's Video Machine, and Socks the Cat Rocks the Hill. In at 17, one slot behind Haunting Starring Poltergeist. That may have been one of the closest matchups. Mega Man X and Zelda 2. That was grueling for me. That was excruciating. Some of the folks in the chat were mad at me on that one, but I'm a just the facts ma'am kind of guy. That's just how it broke down. This one almost as hard in the opposite direction, but if you ask me to sit down with one of these games after such an amount of time that, I could fairly feel like, okay, it's not like I'm all soxed out anymore. You give me 6 months to a year, you say, which of these do you want to play again? I'm not picking Socks the Cat. Well, that's it for today. I want to thank all of you who joined. We had a handful of people popping in and out here. This video will, of course, go up on my YouTube channel. youtube.com/@ChrisTogfer, ChristogHer. You can see VODs of all the Mr. Christopher episodes on there. If you enjoy what I do here, feel free to subscribe. And I will be back sometime soon. Thank you, and again, a very happy Independence Day to anyone who's into that sort of thing. And to play us out one more time, take it away.